Whoa.
All right, welcome to the Albert and Billy Show on WAT AM 1110 and Channel 18 Valley TV. And don't forget, you can always check us out on YouTube. You can watch all the episodes of the Albert and Billy Show on YouTube. Just type in the Albert and Billy Show YouTube, and it'll pull up every episode.
Every one of them. How many?
Allie, I think we're on episode
53, 54?
57.
57.
This is episode 57. All right.
Wow.
That's good.
Well, you'd like to think we would improve between 57 and
well, I hope
one.
we have. I should have brought a letter. I got a letter just for me.
Oh, you got a letter.
From Linda Kilgore.
Pardon me.
Just for me this time. I'm feeling the love. You rubbed it in when you got one, so I'm going to do the same.
Well, I brought my letter with, but what did she want?
Just basically complimenting me and our show.
Oh.
Our show, and got a lot of compliments this week. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was down at Cliff's, and a group from Dunlap was there. I didn't catch this man's name, but he said he was used to be the county executive of Sequatchie County, and he saw me in there, and he said, "I just had to tell you that we love your show." Wow. And he said, "You got a lot of fans in Dunlap." And I said, "I know, we're learning that. We get a lot of fan mail from Dunlap, so thank you, Dunlap, Sequatchie County, for supporting our show." Glad to hear that.
Now, tell over the air when you were born, because Lala wanted me to write her back and tell her.
Oh, yeah, and she said she was joking on that. She
really?
talks about that, yeah. Yeah, and Lala is what she calls her as a nickname.
Lala.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead and say who sponsors the show. We got a new sponsor just today.
We did?
Yeah, the Farmhouse Chandelier Cafe and Gifts. I'll have to get used to saying that name. That's a long title.
Just around the corner here.
Yes, a familiar spot. I wonder why. It's the old Movies and More store. We owned that for 7 years.
Well, I can go back.
Memories.
I can go back further than that. My mother,
know.
we sold small appliances out of that little hole.
No way.
Sam Brand had a little store in there, sold toasters and irons and things like that. And
it's a cozy little store, isn't it? It really is.
Well, and there was a baffle wall built at the back about 3 feet from the main wall.
Yeah.
We had a radio repair shop in there.
Oh,
People brought their car radios there to have Leonard Lyons work on their car radio.
No way.
Yeah, just had about 3 foot to work in back
I know. Yeah, that couldn't have been a lot. Well, they're our new sponsor, and they're literally right behind us, connected to us here at WUAT. And they're open Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. The kitchen closes at 2:30 because they have a lot of gifts too. It's not just a restaurant. They have a lot of gifts.
A lot to choose from.
They do. So go check it out. Friendly staff. I've been in there several times now. They got it looking good in there.
Sure, I've been in there.
Okay, well, good.
Took Patricia in there.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure she liked it.
Oh yeah.
So that's our newest sponsor. We picked them up literally today.
Okay.
And also Rachel and Melissa is going to be sponsoring our show. What do they call it? I've got their cards. So give me just a minute. I'm talking about Melissa Bayless.
They're having grand opening today.
Their grand opening is today. We've talked about that. You can go up there today. Radio listeners, you can still go to their grand opening today. They will be there until 5 o'clock. So go check out their grand opening. It was called the Magnolia there for a while, but now it's called Rustic. I want to make sure I get the name right, but I can't find the card.
So you can't make sure?
Let's see here. Maybe eventually I'll find it. Allie, do you see any cards up there? But they're going to be a new sponsor for us, though. We just don't have their commercial just yet. But we'll be working them up. But it's owner Rachel Brewer and Melissa Bayless. They're sisters, as you know, Papa.
Bill Swearingen is their dad.
Yeah, Bill and Ann. And they have vendors in there renting booths, Papa.
Oh.
I didn't know that. So they're getting paid for that. You know, that's smart.
Whoa.
But so anyway, we'll add them next week to the show. Glad to have them as a sponsor too. But they have vendors that rents booths there. Rachel makes t-shirts.
Sweet teas.
Sweet teas. And we are going to have t-shirts made there actually. We talked about that yesterday. So coming soon, there'll be WUAT t-shirts available for you. There'll be Albert and Billy Show t-shirts available for you as well. So we'll keep you posted on that.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy. We'll have our own t-shirts, Papa.
How much will I have to pay for one?
You won't.
Oh, I'll take it in.
We're also sponsored by Scotty's in downtown Pikeville, home of the Scotty Burger. We're sponsored by Subway on the Bypass. Little Mountain Video out on Highway 30 West. Best pizza in town. In the county.
Out of town.
Yeah, in Bledsoe County. We're sponsored by Miss Judy Yates over at the Loom, our next door neighbor. You can go there for just about anything clothing wise. She can stitch it up for you, can't she, Papa?
She does.
And it's Lola's is the sponsor of the Albert and Billy Show. It's Lola's shop. Allie was just there this morning. Lola has really good fruit tea, don't she, Allie? I love her fruit tea. And also we're sponsored by Michael Walker, Carolyn Terry, and Emma Boynton at the courthouse, Marvin Smith in the highway department, Citizens Tri-County Bank, sponsored by, what's there, Posh? You
Posh
know
Beauty Company.
Posh Beauty Company, which is at a new location now. They're in downtown Pikeville at the old State Farm Insurance building.
Main Street.
Yeah. And Bilbrey Insurance is a sponsor. They're located on Spring Street behind Howard Upchurch Law Office, Frank and Susan Bilbrey. Go see them. You can see their dog Sadie. I like going and just seeing Sadie. We're sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance. Go see Matt Massigel and his friendly staff for all your home, auto, and life insurance needs. Anybody I missed? I feel like I've said
Did you get Scotty's?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got them first. So thanks to all of our sponsors. And it is time for this week's trivia, or last week's trivia.
First.
I can't remember if we done any good or not, Allie.
Yeah, you did.
Kind of, sort of. Okay.
Yeah, you did. But now this week's trivia is going to be different.
What a shocker.
Last week's trivia.
Hey, by the way, had two people tell me I do really good on your trivia, considering how hard it is. So,
Well, I repeat, I'm not putting you on the spot. I want the people that listen and watch to get involved and try to answer the questions.
I think they do. This woman told me that she was watching us on TV, and she said, I was hollering at you through the TV, Billy, telling you the answer.
She was trying to give you the answer?
Yeah.
Well,
it was funny.
I did get a letter from one of my fans, and they said they couldn't understand why you didn't know more of the answers.
Shoot.
Because they did.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
It's hard to know some of them because I just wasn't born yet.
True.
You know.
That's true. But I can't get all the questions since you were born.
Right. I think I do pretty good considering.
Where were you born? In 2003?
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's get to it. Last week's trivia.
What actor gave us the infamous Wolfman?
I don't remember that one. Allie, Lifeline. Who was? We didn't get that.
No,
right.
His name was Lon Chaney.
Dang it.
And I told you that.
You told me the answer.
Yeah, but what I want you to understand is, once a man, not always, but many times when a man gets stereotyped into a type role, he can't break out of it. He is stereotyped.
And he is an example of that.
He's a good example. Because he will be Frankenstein. You remember Frankenstein?
Yeah.
That's Lon Chaney.
Okay. So
I
he
never
was
did.
the Wolfman and Frankenstein.
Yeah, but the Wolfman, they would actually convert him into a normal man, into the Wolfman, and there would be the pause, because back then they didn't have the technology they do today, and so they'd have to make him up, and then add a little bit of makeup to it to watch him be transformed into a Wolfman.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see nowadays.
Yeah, it would be.
Which come out first, Wolfman or Frankenstein?
I remember Wolfman.
Okay.
Okay, second question. When a movie needed a vampire, who did they look to?
Oh.
With the cape and the fanged teeth and
Dracula.
the comb black back
Played Dracula.
hair combed way back.
He played Count Dracula, I guess.
Count Dracula.
I cannot think of his name.
Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi.
Question
Once
3.
you say it, I'm like, yeah, you did say
I ask you, historically wise, where is Puget Sound found in the United States?
Washington State.
You got it. Where is Chesapeake Bay found?
Virginia and Maryland.
No, Washington.
Oh, that Washington D.C.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe the answer was between
No,
Virginia
you're
and
right.
Maryland.
You're right. It's between Virginia and Maryland.
Okay.
I got that wrong. Okay.
Good.
Fourth question. Fifth question. If you're looking around and you're in the Catskills, what state would you be in?
You are in New York.
New York.
Upstate New York.
And I
baby.
ask you, what comedy team gave us the famous routine, Who's On First? And you'd have to watch it to appreciate Abbott and Costello. But it was,
that's before my time.
Right. But
But
they
I've
were.
heard of them. They must
They
be very
were.
famous.
That was black and white.
Okay.
Okay, the NFL Hall of Fame Museum was founded in 1962. Tell me where it is.
I keep forgetting. Ohio.
Right, it's in Ohio.
And
We
the
went
name of the
there.
town just
We
drives
went
me
there.
crazy.
We went there.
You did.
But they were not open. We went there and they were not open.
So what are the chances of that?
Canton, Ohio.
Canton. I about said Camden. Canton.
We went on a tour of the Amish country up there.
No, I bet that was nice.
Yeah, it was. It
I
really
bet.
was. And we were going to see where they made Smucker's strawberry preserves and blackberry jelly and all that.
Oh, really?
But they were closed too. Okay, a very good college.
Not to interrupt you, you said homemade.
No, I didn't mean to say homemade.
Well, it made me think Shirley Simmons come by to talk about Mount Crest as breakfast coming up on the 21st, and she was talking about how we always add that's homemade. She said it is homemade, and this month we're gonna have blueberry, peach, strawberry, cherry.
You're kidding.
So yeah, I meant to tell you that earlier. I wrote it down on their ad this time.
It's something else. I mean, just a jar of homemade jelly sitting on the table.
I know it. That's nobody else does.
And you get a spoonful of each, you know.
Yeah. So that's in Mount Crest. Since I just now thought of that, that's a good event to go to, radio listeners.
Next question.
21st.
A very good college football coach was hired at Tennessee, and later, as play ended in the Gator Bowl between Tennessee and the University of Florida, he was hired by the University of Florida to leave Tennessee and be their coach. What was his name?
For some reason, I keep forgetting this. I'm gonna have to let you tell me.
Doug Dickey.
Doug Dickey.
And let me tell you, it caught a lot of people off guard. But see, there were little innuendos in the newspapers suggesting that might happen, but he denied it because he was on the Tennessee staff. He was head coach. He couldn't say, I'm going to go coach Florida after this game's over.
The team that we're playing.
Yeah.
He lied the whole time.
Right. And see, after the game was over, he's able to say, I'm an employee of Florida.
I know.
One of the Vols football coach's dad had been coach of a hated SEC rival. Give me the name of the coach that Tennessee had, and his dad was coach of another team in the SEC.
Okay. The son is the worst coach in Tennessee history. His name's Derek Dooley. complete joke every year. Terrible teams. And somehow he's the offspring of a really good coach, Vince Dooley, who coached the Georgia Bulldogs.
Huh. You know, I don't remember following Derek Dooley as a coach after that.
Probably not.
Following his career.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I am too. Who in the world would hire him? It's crazy that his dad's such a good coach and he's not. That's just being nice there.
Well, that's a situation trying to ride your dad's coattails.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to do it.
Okay, last question. In football, you see a TD and you have a QB. But in which sport do you hear a TKO?
That's boxing.
Boxing. You're right. You know your sport. You know your sport.
Pretty good on that one. Now it's time for this week's trivia, and there's no telling what he's got this week.
These are simply facts. Did you know?
Oh, I don't have to answer.
No, you do not. But I want you to listen. Now these were given to me by a friend. We go to church with a lady up at Cold Springs named Gail, and her husband's name is Vern. And Vern listens to our program and watches our program.
Well, hello, Vern. Thanks for
he's been giving me information from old newspapers.
Okay.
So this comes from a newspaper article that he furnished me.
Old newspapers
Not
all over.
Okay, but this was printed in 1989. That's 28 years ago.
From where, though, is what I'm asking?
Chattanooga.
So it's all old Chattanooga Times articles.
Well, 1989.
Yeah.
You were born.
No, I'm just saying, so they're all out of Chattanooga, though, right?
I think most of them are.
Okay.
Okay, this first thing. Did you know?
Did you know?
1939, the Davenport Hosiery Mills in Chattanooga became the first commercial maker of nylons.
Did I know that? That
No.
would be a no.
But can you imagine how far up on the chain economically Chattanooga is? They were the first one to ever produce a nylon hose for ladies to wear, made right here in Chattanooga.
Yeah, I just keep finding out more and more about Chattanooga being
They're big.
first to do, what is it, Coca-Cola or something?
That's going to be on here.
Yeah, okay.
Did you know that the Warner Park Fieldhouse was built for Billy Graham to hold a crusade in back in the 1950s?
That's why it was built.
It was built for Billy Graham, and it's still there.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Did you know that Baseball Hall of Famer Satchel Paige you would not remember? I don't remember. I remember him saying that when they'd asked him how old he was, he said, well, I don't know. He was older than he was because he didn't want to admit how old he was.
Oh, okay.
But he played in Chattanooga in the Negro League, the Chattanooga White Sox, Negro League.
Okay, that's what they call it, the Negro League. I don't remember what's that.
Well, see, that's what Jackie Robinson came out of to get into the pros. Was the Negro Leagues.
Okay.
Larry Doby followed the next year in the American League.
Really?
Right. They broke the color line in 1947 and 1948.
Wow.
All right.
Satchel Paige, what a name too.
Satchel.
It's a unique name.
But it's they're Satchel. Okay, next question. Now did you know that Hamilton Place's mall has a roof as big as 11 football fields over it?
I didn't know it was that big.
Big.
Did you?
No, I had no idea. But did you know that Chattanooga is home to the moon pie?
Actually, I did know that.
You did know that?
I did. Did you know that, Allie?
Started in 1919.
Wow.
But in 1989, from 1969, they had made 1.5 billion moon pies.
Goodness.
In that 20-year period.
That is amazing.
1.5 billion moon pies. And listen, I've been eating a lot of moon pies here lately. You can get the small mini moon pie up at Fred's for $1 a box. You get a half a dozen moon pies, and you get the new salted caramel flavor.
Are those good?
Well, I'm buying two at a time.
You must like them.
All right.
I've only had the regular moon pie. I didn't know you could.
Okay.
Flavors.
You say regular. What flavor do you call regular?
I don't know. The only one I've ever been able to get.
They have chocolate.
That's it. Chocolate.
They have vanilla. They have strawberry. They have banana, and they have caramel, salted caramel.
What's your favorite?
Salted caramel.
Okay.
Now. Used to be chocolate. Okay. Did you know that Ted Turner, the TV mogul, graduated from Macaulay in Chattanooga?
No, I sure did not.
Went on to be quite famous.
Yeah, you think?
And powerful.
Has his own network for crying out loud.
That's pretty powerful.
TBS.
Did you know the song Chattanooga Choo Choo, which was first played by Glenn Miller, became the first record to be a gold record, sell 1 million copies.
No.
And it was the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Now gold is 500,000 copies, so maybe it was the first platinum record.
Said first gold record in this newspaper article.
Well, then that 500,000 copies, that's still very good.
But anyway, the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
The first one.
Chattanooga Choo Choo. Okay. In 1931.
Choo Choo's famous for a lot
of that. Yeah. In 1931, a girl named Jackie Mitchell was signed by the Chattanooga Lookouts to be a baseball pitcher. In an exhibition game, as the New York Yankees came through here on their way back from spring training to go to New York, they stopped in Chattanooga for an exhibition game. Jackie Mitchell pitched against Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth and struck them both out.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
No.
Did you know that?
No, you didn't.
Did you know that in that 1/2 of the U.S. population in 1989 was only a 1 day's drive from Chattanooga? That's hard to believe. Yeah. But see, you've got the eastern seaboard, you've got the east. Where's most of your population in the United States?
Obviously the east.
Obviously.
Yeah.
New York must be bigger and bigger than I thought it was.
It is big.
Did you know that Chattanooga is home to the first bottled Coca-Cola? Two men, Ben Thomas and Joseph Whitehead, went to Atlanta and bought the rights to bottle Coca-Cola for $1. Believe it or not.
It's just crazy to hear that, though, isn't it?
That's hard.
$1.
$1. Okay.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, isn't that
the only one I really knew before you told me the answer
was the Field House?
The Moon Pie one.
Oh, the Moon Pie.
The Moon Pie one, yeah.
Well, Moon Pie was one of the sponsors of Winky's daughter.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, sports of all sorts.
All right.
Football. Who do we play tomorrow?
You know what? You don't even want me to answer, really, because I don't even give a crap.
Well, I mean, who do we play?
I think we could play Lee Station University and get beat.
Do they have a university at Lee Station?
I think they could come up with a team and beat Tennessee.
Okay.
We play South Carolina, but
okay, we play South Carolina.
Or not.
Well, let me tell you something. Do you believe that Butch Jones is on a hot seat?
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay, the seat that he's on, were they to lose tomorrow to South Carolina?
Yeah.
It'll be hot enough to melt the metal seat that he's seating on.
I agree.
In 1989, 1980 something, Johnny Majors was our coach. He lost to South Carolina. He was told the next day or two, "You're gone." In 2008 or 2009, a man by the name of Philip Fulmer was our coach. He lost to South Carolina. He was told, "You may finish the season, but you're gone." So it bodes you ill will if you were to lose to South Carolina at this stage of the game, because you already lost you lost 2 games, but you haven't won a conference game yet.
And you barely beat UMass, which is
4 points.
Too.
4 points. So what I'm saying is,
he's gone if they don't beat South Carolina. Is what it sounds
okay,
like.
let me ask you this: were he to win, and see the record go to 4-2, do you think it's still possible he might get fired before the season? Because who's coming in the next week?
Alabama. It'll take a miracle for him to beat Alabama the way Tennessee's
Okay,
playing.
why do you think he needs to be replaced?
Because he's had what year are we on now? 5. He's on year 5 with his players that he recruited, and they're still not getting the job done. They're still not winning any type of championship. They're not even winning the SEC East championship. They're not making it to the SEC championship. They're not winning big games. Rarely will they win a big rivalry game. Last year they had a couple of big wins, but then they had some tough losses too.
Right on the tail end of the season.
Yeah, but this year is just terrible. It's just terrible, and yeah, I really do think he needs to be got. There's a part of me that may wish they lose tomorrow to South Carolina, if that'll mean that they get rid of him.
I don't believe it matters whether you wins or loses. At this stage
I think
of the,
he's gone.
well, at this stage of the game, with recruits bailing out,
and that's another thing.
we had 2 fine recruits that he had recruited, had signed. I'm going to play for Tennessee.
Yeah.
They have asked for their signature to be erased. They're going to go play
good.
elsewhere. Okay, here's the thing. Whoever Tennessee is considering to be a replacement, they need time to do recruiting before the early signing period in December.
Right.
If they wait till the season is over before they start looking, you're in trouble.
Well, then I think, from what you just said, that they may fire Butch Jones mid-season.
Okay, where are they to? I mean, this will be the 5th game. No, 6th game. This will be our 6th game.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Alabama's already 6-0, and Georgia's already 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, were they to fire him? Who would replace him?
Well, temporarily would be the top assistant coach, whoever that is.
But next season, who would they hire?
I don't know.
John Gruden is prominently being displayed already, but he makes $6 million a year at ESPN.
And he comes up every time.
Every time. Why? They want him.
They must, yeah.
Okay, but at this juncture, with ESPN on unshaky ground financially, he might see that I can get $6 million from Tennessee, where I'm getting $6 million here. Secondly, Chip Kelly might be a prominent name bandied about as a possible replacement for Butch Jones.
Well,
and then you've got former Oklahoma coach Bob Stoops. Nobody knew why he resigned.
Still don't know, do we?
No, but could they get him?
Well, I don't know. He'd be a good choice. Of course, I'd kind of like to know why he resigned.
Okay, I would too.
He's a good coach, so.
But what I'm saying is Tennessee is sitting here with one of the top 5 or 6 seating capacity stadiums in the country, 102,000 plus.
Good job to get.
That's what I'm saying. And if that man, whoever takes his place, can sit down in the living room with that mother and that daddy and that boy and say, I'll get your boy to the NFL.
Yeah.
And he'll sign that multi-million-dollar contract. They're going to let that kid put the name on the dotted line.
Absolutely.
But that man's got to be able to sit down on the couch with that mother and dad and make it stick. Say, I will.
You're right.
So whoever it is, it's going to have to be somebody, because Butch Jones is not carrying through.
No, he's not. He recruited well. He's not coaching well. I'm tired of hearing the brick by brick. I think the brick by brick theory is out the window.
But I still say, if we were to wind
I
up,
think the big bad wolf blew the brick house down, Papa.
if we were to still wind up 9-3,
yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
give Alabama the loss, wins it against South Carolina, you'll be 4-3 after Alabama. Win out, you got a 9-3 record.
Oh, that'd be great to see, but we're probably delusional to think that the way they've been playing.
Are you saying I'm delusional?
I'm saying we both would be to think that's going to happen.
To get away from Tennessee just for a minute.
We got 2 minutes.
Georgia has a running back named Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Tennessee sidelined him last year on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
He missed a year's productivity, yet he is one of only 8 players to wind up with 4,000 plus yards.
Yeah, that's a heck
and he's got the rest of this year to go.
player.
He's got the rest of this year to go. Guess who number 1 is? Herschel Walker, also from Georgia.
Yeah.
Over 5,000 yards. But Nick Chubb, at 100 yards a game, he could still get around 6 more hundred yards.
Mm-hmm.
And
Georgia's good. That might be a team to beat Alabama. Who knows?
In baseball, the playoffs have.
2 minutes. Okay.
Okay, the playoffs started out with 10 teams. Now you're down to 4. Now you're down to 4.
Down to 4.
Dodgers play the Cubs.
Uh-oh.
And
We've been talking about that all year.
Houston plays the Yankees.
Okay.
Those 10 teams have been reduced to 4. 6 of them are already gone.
Happened quick.
Now you got a 7-game series starting with between these 4 teams.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be neat if the Dodgers win and the Yankees win, and we go back to the late 40s and the 50s? That's who was always in the World Series. And my Dodgers won in 1955.
Well, that could actually happen, Papa.
Oh, it could.
Because your Dodgers, so to speak, that belong to you, they're having a great year, and probably are they the favorites to win it all?
Well, yeah, but the Cubs won it all last year, and they're back in there.
That's true. They're the defending champs.
They won last night, and they got in there.
Okay, so the Dodgers and Cubs will start here in a few days.
And we talked last week about the 2 teams in Canada, Montreal and
Toronto.
But Montreal is not up there anymore. It's just Toronto.
Okay.
The Washington Nationals
took their spot.
That's where the Montreal Expos came to. Okay.
I did not know that. That's another.
Listen, Billy.
Did you know? All right. Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show. And since we're talking about sports, we figured we'd talk about 2 of our local athletes, Pawpaw. We're here with Carly Davis and Lindsey Keener, both of the volleyball team, and they're also going to be playing on the basketball team. The season's coming up, well, I'd say pretty...
Next month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, just
November.
Around the corner, isn't it? But first we'll talk about the historic volleyball season you guys literally just wrapped up last night. You played South Green. Yeah, tough game, but just the fact that you made it there, that's an accomplishment. I know our volleyball program has not even come close to having the type of season y'all have had, right?
Yes.
Like, what kind of season did you have last year?
Last year was more of a tougher season. We didn't even make it. Like, we made it to districts, but we didn't even place in districts. So.
No, how did y'all get so good over 1 year?
We started all the way in May and went all through summer.
Okay.
Well, so and then they matured.
Yes.
Definitely.
That helps.
Definitely.
And you guys must have played, well, you played in the off season to get better.
Yes.
So did Beverly come up with that?
Yeah.
That'll make you better? That was smart. That was real smart. Yeah. So obviously it paid off.
Yes, it did.
Paid off big time, because that's a big difference in a year, Papa. Big difference.
Well, wins last year as opposed to this year, how did you stack up?
Yeah, like what was your record? Was it 500?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. Like, the record for this season was
really good.
Yeah, it was like
27 and like
y'all were close to 30 wins, wasn't you?
Yes.
And last year was, say, what, 15 maybe?
Probably.
Okay. So yeah, whatever Beverly did, that was a great idea.
Yes.
Y'all need to do that this upcoming season.
Oh, yes, we definitely will be. We're going to try to get our middle schoolers in, and we're going to start them younger.
Yes,
so.
Yes.
Now that's your feeder program. You got to have that middle school clicking.
Yep.
Did they have a good year this year?
They play in the spring, not the fall. So we'll find out come the spring.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all need to be like giving them lessons. Like,
yes.
All right, this is how it's going to be in high school. Because hopefully you started a trend, and this is the start of something special. You know, the start of a really good powerhouse volleyball program. And you guys could say that you started it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah.
Well, will your coach be in place next year? The next year, how many years do you
Beverly,
think?
I would think so.
She's sticking
Beverly
around.
Tarver.
Okay, do you have an assistant coach?
Yes, Becky Ridley. She's amazing.
Oh, I know.
She started last year, was her first year, and she just kept on and on. She looked up YouTube videos. She helped Miss Tarver a lot.
Hey, let me tell you, just if you have her math, you got a lot on your side.
Yeah, I know.
That gal can really
yell on the sideline.
She's an encourager.
Yes. It's entertaining, that's for sure. But I coach AAU basketball, and I guess it was 2 years ago, we shared a gym with Beverly, with their coach Beverly Tarver at First Southern at their gym, and she was telling me how she had started coaching volleyball now. Didn't know much about it. Beverly was a basketball player, a basketball coach, so she's had to learn all this, Pawpaw, and she was telling me ideas of how she was going to make them better, and she was calling all these other schools, and she was really working hard at it. So I'm glad to see that's paying off for her. Because I think she had to learn just like you guys.
She did.
Yeah.
We all had to learn together, but it made us stronger as a team and as a family. So
I would say so, yeah.
Well, but she never called me. I played volleyball for 4 years at recess and lunch.
Well, I played at recess.
And at lunch.
I always serve too hard at recess. I have a good serve for whatever reason, but it would hurt some of the other kids' wrist. They didn't want
Come on.
Yeah, I could serve it. That's
Awesome.
about it, you know. But
I
could
taught him how to
serve.
play tennis, but I didn't teach him how to play volleyball.
When I lifeguarded, we'd play volleyball against Cumberland County a lot. They're lifeguards. That was more like beach volleyball, though.
Yeah.
Completely different. But you guys won the district, which that was the first district championship, right?
Yep, that is first ever.
That's amazing. That in itself is amazing. Then they took it one step further, Papa, and they won the region this week, defeated Copper Basin, and then defeated Polk County in the championship.
Yep.
And that's who we played in football tonight, isn't it? Polk
Yes,
County?
we played Polk County tonight.
Yeah. And I missed the Polk County game, but I did get to watch you play Copper Basin. That was a good game. Y'all come from behind and won. I think y'all were nervous that game. I know you were.
Yeah, we definitely were. We lost the first set just coming in because we were all we had cold feet about it and we had the jitters, and then we came back and we beat them in the
Yeah, it's like y'all kind of relaxed
Yeah.
after that first set, and they come back and won. It was a good game, Papa, and I was glad to see a really good crowd there.
Once you realize as a participant on the team that they put their shoes on the same way you do, and they put their breeches on the same way you do, you're on an even keel. They may work a little harder than you do, but you can up your ante on how you work. And so it's just a matter of hustle and determination, and I think that's what they've shown this year.
They were definitely hustling at the beginning of that game. It was maybe a bit trying too hard. They were nervous, and everybody could sense it in the crowd.
Well, you got to get the butterflies out of the way.
Yeah.
They were, and that was probably the first. Like the crowd wasn't that big in the regular season, then all of a sudden you got jam packed in there. That probably took some getting used to as well, especially for those that don't play. Like you guys will be used to it because of basketball. But the ones that don't play basketball, that was probably a big adjustment to that big crowd.
Yeah.
That would make you nervous.
Let me ask you girls a question. Since you are two sport players, which of the two do you prefer to participate in, volleyball or basketball? And I'll ask each of you, give you your first opportunities.
Well, I've grown up playing basketball. I mean, I live and breathe basketball, so I would definitely, if I had to pick a sport, it would be basketball. But I enjoy volleyball very much because it's a more relaxed sport, and it was something that I had to learn older, and I've grown to love it just as much as I do basketball. But if it came down to it, I would have to pick basketball.
Well, that's good.
Kill you.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
your mom.
Yeah.
Scholarship-wise, you're going to have more asset in the basketball arena.
Yes.
What about you, Lindsey? Which one of the two you prefer?
Well,
Or do you like them both the same?
I like them both the same.
To be honest, but like, it's two totally different sports for me.
Yes.
I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely.
I was telling Dad this morning, you can beat a team in basketball with just your offense. Just as long as you outscore them in offense, you can beat them. In volleyball, you have to have both aspects of the game. You have to have defense to trigger your offense.
That is true.
You got to have somebody willing to dig in and,
Exactly.
and hit that floor.
Exactly.
Keep that ball from hitting the floor.
They hit that ball hard. And I know this Copper Basin game, them girls were quick.
Yes,
Like nothing was
they
getting
were.
past them, so y'all had to hit the ball maybe more than usual.
Yes.
Because they were little, but they were really fast, Papa.
Lindsey, I bet, who on the team is better to send the ball to for the jam?
Well, she
Who do you
was
want
good
to
at that.
Who do you want to set up to be the last one to knock the ball on the floor on the other
She's
side of
one
the
of
net?
them. She was doing
Well, that's
that
what
for-
I'm asking.
Yeah, I thought so. She was doing that the other night.
That's fun.
It definitely is fun.
And that's when you score, whereas in basketball you might get 30 points, but you might not get 30 points in volleyball. But when you get, and then if you're serving and you get an ace, that's good too. But still, that person that plays on that net, when they're set up just right, to really crash that ball on the floor on the other side, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, and she blocked a few of them too.
That's a good feeling. I liked volleyball. That's
They made
100
sure
years
you
ago.
were rested. I noticed, like you would get long breaks. But I noticed they made sure you were there at the end of it, no matter what. Of each set, you were always there at the end of it.
Yeah.
So that's smart though. That's smart. But yeah, congratulations on a great year.
Thank you.
I'm glad everybody got excited about it. And for the first time, I didn't even know. I had to ask Miss Tarver when volleyball even started here in Bledsoe County, because I honestly didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was shocked by the answer. She said 20 years, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it, because I didn't know it. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that didn't know that.
See, this was our first district win that we had, but Riley Reese's, which was Lindsey's freshman year, but Lindsey didn't play her freshman year. Riley Reese's freshman year with the sophomores, juniors, and seniors at the time had a really good chance to get district champs.
Okay.
But they fell behind because of, I'm not really sure what happened, but they were really close. And then Addison Smith was on that team, and she actually came to watch us last night, and she was so proud of how far we got.
I bet. I think you guys will be proud of the future players, because I think you're going to get credit for the ones that kind of started this thing off.
Now, this will come out in our local paper next week, would it not?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. They were there taking pictures.
Right.
So
you've got accolades coming right and left, and just to get to be interviewed on the radio station, that's big time too. And you're on television.
They're a little nervous, but I think they're calling it a little bit. Well, volleyball was great. Like I said, you had an historic season, so I hope you guys can keep that up. Of course, Lindsey, you're a senior, so they'll have to figure out a way to replace you next year.
They could flunk her this year, not let her back.
Great advice, Papa.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. Well, also, these two ladies play basketball for the Lady Warriors, and the upcoming season will kick off on November. What date do you know?
The 14th is what was.
Okay.
November the 14th is our first official game.
Will that be here in Pottville?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. You know who you play yet?
Is it
McMinn Central. It's a Hall of Fame game.
That's a tough game. That's a good school
Yeah.
in girls basketball.
Yeah, we're starting out
Unless
tough.
they've changed. They used to be very good.
Nope, they're still good.
Okay.
But we're not nervous at all. We have, we didn't lose anyone last year.
That's big.
So
That's huge.
we have all of our starters coming back. We've definitely trained all summer, and we're looking to be very good this year.
That's a
good attitude.
And I think people are expecting you guys to have a breakout season this year, because you are returning everybody. And Dan told me that your dad told him that he is making them play a tougher schedule, but usually that always pays off come postseason. You're ready, you've seen these tough teams, and you're ready for it. So I like that idea.
Yeah.
If you play too easy of a schedule, then you're kind of in shell shock in the postseason when you see these teams, because you've not faced talent like that. So that's a good idea. I'm glad he come up with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How tough a schedule are we talking though? Who are some of the teams you got to play?
Well, earlier this summer we played McMinn and some harder teams in over at Westland at a camp that we had all summer.
Okay.
And we were we weren't lucky because we used our skills, but we did beat a few of the harder teams that we were expected to get beat by.
Yeah.
And now we're playing them in actual games this season. So
That's going to give you confidence.
we're
right
all
there.
equally matched as long as we play the game we know we can play.
Right, and have the belief.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have that now.
Yeah.
Just having to play Upperman County last year, it's good to go up against that kind of talent, because now you're exposed to it, know what to expect. And they went on to win the state, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
So,
And we were lucky to get to go watch them win state. And it was, we went up there at the end of our season and watched a bunch of teams play Murfreesboro, and it was an experience just going and watching them, and we definitely want the experience to be playing there now.
Heck yeah,
so
you
we're
want
definitely
that to
pumped.
be you.
Yeah.
And to know that they didn't exactly blow you guys out. I mean, it was a good game. If I remember correctly, you missed a lot of free throws that game. You know, just think if you hit those free throws, you might have had it within single digits.
Yes.
And that's a lot to be proud of, to play the state champs that well.
Yeah.
So that's got to give you ladies some confidence going into this season.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys are the favorites to win the district. Would I be correct in saying that?
As of right now, yes, we are.
I would think so, returning every player.
Well, I've noticed Carlos has a swagger.
Swagger.
He'll like that.
He's definitely confident in us because he knows that we have the skill and the ability to win this, and we can go all the way to state and just.
I think you guys can, and I think Carlos knows that you guys believe it now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a big part. It's all mental. The mentality plays a huge part in it.
Yes.
If you don't have the belief, you might as well not even lace your shoes up and go out there. But I think you guys are very confident. You're the defending district champions, correct?
We got second place last year, but yeah.
You did? I thought did you win the district tournament though?
No, we
were first in regular season.
Okay.
Yes.
I was about to say, now, I know you won one of them.
Yeah.
So you got upset maybe in the tournament.
Yep.
Yeah,
we definitely did.
Well, that's why you had to play such a tough region game then.
Yeah. It was rough.
District tournaments can mess you up, can't they? But I think this year you'll be more prepared for it. So you know you're going to play McMinn Central. Do you play like Meigs County, some of the powerhouses?
I think we're going to try to play Meigs a few games. I know that we switched districts this year, or we didn't switch districts.
Oh, you did?
We dropped private teams, like we dropped Signal Mountain, Notre Dame, and Chat Christian, and then
did you?
Yes, but we picked up Crossville teams that are going to bring in some
that'll
tough
be some competition there.
Yeah.
Like what, Cumberland County, Stone Memorial,
Yep.
some of those, that'll be good.
So, but I think it'll further our expectations to what we're going to see when we make it to regions.
Like I'd rather see you guys, if you're going to lose, I'd rather see you lose to these teams in the regular season, and then you'll be prepared for them come postseason.
Exactly.
You won't be in shock. So I'm glad he is definitely beefing up the schedule for you. I think that'll pay off in the long run. Hey, congratulations, Lindsey. I think you won homecoming queen.
I did. Thank you.
I saw that.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Were you surprised? Were you honored?
I was happy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
She wasn't expecting to win, but then we all knew she was. We all knew she was going to win.
So you're just having a big year already, aren't you? Homecoming queen, best volleyball season ever, and now fixing to play your senior season. Can't believe it's already your senior season of basketball.
It makes me sad.
Just think how many more points you can add to your total.
Where are
Just
you
being
at
your
on
last
that,
year.
Lindsey, by the way?
I think I have around 250 left to get my 1,000.
Oh, you'll get that this
We're
year.
excited.
Yeah.
Well, you'll get that in the first 12
You
games.
might get close to 1,500 before it's all said and done then.
It's a goal.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. Seems just like yesterday you was a freshman playing though, so it's flew by. I guess sometimes you wish it still was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys will have a great year. So November 14th, you kick things off. It is here. And who is against again?
McMinn Central.
Yeah,
Ooh, man, it's starting off with a bang.
Yeah.
I hope you guys beat them first thing.
We hope we win too, trust me.
There you go.
All right, well, this is Carly and Lindsey. Thanks for joining us today.
It's an honor.
Well, thanks for being here. And you guys, congratulations once again on your historic volleyball season, and good luck on the upcoming basketball season.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
From me also, and from WAT and Channel 18.
All right, that's it for sports this week. Coming up after the break, we'll have some good old Albertology for you right here on the Halbert and Billy Show. All right, welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show on Channel 18, Valley TV, and WUAT AM 1110. It's time for Albertology.
I've been waiting. I've been chomping at the bit. I've had an article.
Lord.
I've had this article for a couple of weeks now, and I never did use it yet. But today I wanted to, because the situation is not going away that was created by Colin Kaepernick.
Oh God!
About the kneeling and the issue. It's gotten. I'm going to say it's gotten out of hand, because
of course
the president of our United States has just about taken on the NFL.
I know.
By himself.
Ridiculous.
Okay, this fella that works for, has an article in the Chattanooga News Free Press.
Yeah.
His name is Terry Mattingly. And he put an article in the paper a couple of weeks ago, and I cut it out. I want to read it.
So he's comparing it to Tim Tebow, correct?
Well, his article is entitled "Tim Tebow versus Colin Kaepernick." Kaepernick. That's the name of the article.
Kaepernick can't find a job. Serves him right.
Well, now I heard that they were looking for a water boy.
Well, he don't even deserve that.
Okay, here he starts his article off by saying, "You say Tim Tebow, and Americans imagine a quarterback kneeling with his head bowed, and
very respectfully though, and he's kneeling to
Jesus. And his eyes closed, and millions of Americans identify with Tim Tebow doing what he does.
Yes.
Now, say Colin Kaepernick, and Americans imagine a quarterback kneeling with his head bowed, but with his eyes focused straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
For millions, the image is inspiring for both. They're both Christian football players. They're both known for kneeling on the field, but they're doing it for different reasons.
The problem is Kaepernick, or whatever his name is, his way of going about it is just, there's better ways to go about protesting. If you want to protest, join the cause, donate the money to these organizations, do it on your own time. But don't do it at a ball game and disrespect the national anthem. It's disrespectful. There's no two ways about it. And you're not helping the cause at all. You're just causing more division. So it completely backfired on him. It backfired on all these NFL players doing it. You know, the fans got tired of it, started lashing out, started burning jerseys, and now these players are having second thoughts about doing this.
Well, this article by Terry Mattingly is comparing the two.
Okay, let's hear it.
And he says they're both Christian football players. They're both well known. They're known for kneeling on the field, but for different reasons. This is according to an article by Michael Frost. He's an evangelism professor at Moreland College, which is a Baptist school in Sydney, Australia. And he's the one that's making this comparison. He says one grew up, this is Tim Tebow, the son of Baptist missionaries to the Philippines. The other was baptized a Methodist. Okay. He was confirmed as a Lutheran. He attended a Baptist church during college. Both have made a public display of their faith. This is the tale of two Christian sports personalities, one of whom is the darling of the American church, while the other is reviled, just as you expressed a moment ago. According to Mr. Frost, these men symbolize two approaches to faith that some believers think cannot be reconciled.
Where does Kaepernick's faith come in?
He will talk about it.
Okay, I want to hear this.
When his blog essay was picked up by the Washington Post, the headline proclaimed, "Colin Kaepernick versus Tim Tebow, a tale of two Christians on their knees." That was his article.
No wonder you got tongue-tied on that one there.
It's not like The Fly and the Flea. So around the world, Frost added, Tebow and Kaepernick represent a church separating in two divisions. One that values personal piety, gentleness, respect for cultural mores, and an emphasis on moral issues like abortion and homosexuality, and another that values social justice, community development, racial reconciliation, and political activism. One version is kneeling in private prayer.
Right.
The other is kneeling in public protest.
Exactly.
One preaches a gospel of personal salvation. The other preaches a gospel of political and social transformation. The problem is that these approaches are not in conflict according to 2,000 years of Christian doctrine. These two Christian distinct branches is leaving the church poorer, with each side needing to be enriched by the biblical vision of the other. Both wants to go their separate ways.
Okay.
Kaepernick has become a national figure with his pre-game protests supporting Black Lives Matter and other efforts to oppose police violence. His comments about faith have, to say the least, received less attention. Not much said about his faith.
No.
But here's what he says. My faith is the basis from where my game comes from. I think God guides me through every day and helps me take the right steps. When I step on the field, I always say a prayer. Say I'm thankful to be able to wake up that morning and go out there and try to glorify the Lord. I think if you go out and try to do that, no matter what you do, you can be happy with what you did. Now, Frost, in his essay, stressed that Kaepernick's work shows that he is a philanthropist. He supports clean water projects in Somalia. He donates to Meals on Wheels. Tebow.
And that's all good.
That's
is good.
Tebow helps his dad's orphanage and missionary work. He was doing that when he became a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
But now, if you remember, he had those Bible verses, John 3:16, painted under his eye.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He has been very outspoken about his work, about his pro-life. He has preached in churches. He has preached in prisons, schools, youth groups, and whatever.
I didn't know that.
Tim Tebow has his own foundation that backs numerous projects linked to medical care for the poor. I like that.
Yeah.
Aid for orphans, and work with special needs children, especially children with Down syndrome. We did an article on Down syndrome.
Yeah, not long ago.
I guess last week. So then you have two men, two visions, but one faith. And each one has an enormous following. We don't recognize how many people are behind Colin Kaepernick. But they're lined up behind each one of them. And each one wants to have their say. And will have their say. Do have their say. But now they are opposed by the President of the United States. One of them.
Exactly. And Tim Tebow has more support than Kaepernick.
Well, I think so, because I align with him more than I do with Kaepernick.
Oh, I mean, I know so. It's people are tired of these athletes protesting. Listen, if you want to protest on your own time, do it. The people are not watching ball games to hear about your political views or your protest. That is not, people don't want to watch that. We don't care what your views are. We're watching to watch you play a game. And you had the freedom to do it, and you're disrespecting the national anthem. You're making millions of dollars.
Well, they're opposing the United States and what it stands for.
Well,
the flag,
that's not the way to go about it.
The flag and the national anthem, those are two.
But that is not the right way to go about it. It's just not.
I've been in school now for about 2-3 weeks working with the students. And every morning, each school, no matter whether I'm at the grammar school or the middle school or the high school, they will have the pledge to the flag.
That's good.
That's good.
That's
I
the way
like it.
Should be.
And I'll ask them questions. I'll say, why do we have 13 stripes?
Yeah.
Why do we have 50 stars? I'm going to do a feature on the flag here pretty quickly. I've got to work
Yeah,
on it.
we've done that before, and it
Well,
was really good.
I've got a lot of literature from Lala to share.
Oh, I bet.
I've got 3 tons. Okay, back on October the 6th, I wanted to do this and I didn't get to. The era of talking pictures arrived. See, silent is all people had.
Oh, okay, now.
But in 1927, talking pictures made the jump into
Hollywood.
and into history because the jazz singer opened on October the 6th, 1927.
Is that the first one?
That was the first, and that was Al Jolson was the star of the movie.
Okay. Didn't know that either, Papa.
Well, I'm sure you weren't around in
There's
1927.
another did you know?
Were you around in 1927?
No, you weren't around 1927.
No. But I bet I was thought of.
Right.
And I told you here a while back that Bass Pro Shops were trying to swallow up Cabela's.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
both of them went down there on I-75 right outside Chattanooga, and both of them built a big monstrous store.
Yeah.
Then all this talk came around that one wanted to gobble up the other. And so the Cabela's chain was founded in 1961. The fellow named Dick Cabela started selling fishing flies through the mail from his kitchen table with his wife Mary helping him and his brother.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
so
to know
they've
where
got
they
a store
started.
there in Fort Oglethorpe. Well, then in 1971, 10 years later, John Morris began selling high-quality fishing tackle from his dad's liquor store in Springfield. And they've got one now in East Ridge. That's how close they are.
We talking about which one there?
This is the Bass Pro Shop.
Got you.
Okay, Morris developed a following in the region and created Bass Pro Catalog in 1974, and they introduced their own boat, Bass Tracker fishing boat, in 1978. But now, I think the amount of money that changed hands is $4 billion that it took to swallow up Cabela's by Bass Pro Shop. Just $4 billion.
Yes.
And I got this to say about
Say $4 billion.
$4 billion.
Okay.
What's amazing to me is they got that much money.
Yeah, I know it. That's what I'm sitting there thinking. Wow.
I've told you that we spend a lot of money because all you got to do is follow how much we spend on movies and how much people win at playing golf and
I know.
and how much these players sign these contracts for. There's money out here.
Yeah.
You just don't have any and I don't have any. Give me half yours and I'll give you half mine. Glenn Campbell died just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I work
Sad.
these puzzles every day. I work this puzzle and I want to read it to you.
I want a celebrity cipher.
Right.
Celebrity cipher.
Well, each letter stands for another letter in the alphabet. You got to figure out what UYXMR would be if you could come up with a word. So that first word is thank. Thank you, Glenn Campbell, for sharing your talent with us for so many years. May you rest in peace, friend. And it's signed Charlie Daniels.
Wow. And
That's
you
a-
had to cipher that.
You've got to figure out what each letter stands for.
Did you figure that out?
Well, Billy, nobody did it for me. Shoot.
Making sure.
But
I
now,
thought Patricia might have done it for you.
when I worked for George,
that's tough though. For
tough.
real. Yeah.
When I worked at the funeral home for Mr. George Reed, I watched Frances Kennedy and her boyfriend, Everett Fields, work on this every morning.
Really?
And I was envious of them. They would ask me certain words. What do you think would start with an E and end with an E? Well, I don't know.
A lot of things.
Well, that, THAT. But you've got to figure out how you just got to figure it out. But anyway,
not
Francis got killed,
I know.
and she didn't really get to show me how, but I finally learned how to do it.
Well,
But Charlie
you gotta
Daniels,
show me how to do that. That's
oh,
tough.
it's not easy, buddy. It's not easy.
You can tell that's hard.
Okay, you want some stories?
Yeah, we got some time. We got 3 minutes. Let's tell some.
Tell some stories.
We got a few minutes. Tell some jokes.
Well, I'm gonna read
Or stories, as you call it.
I'm gonna read a little bit of Lala's.
Lala.
Lala.
Okay, and Lala is Linda Kilgore from Dunlap.
From Dunlap. She says, mistakes are just opportunities in disguise. Smart.
Never thought of it like that.
Smart. Kindness works. It's like a boomerang. It always comes back to you, even if not from the person you gave it to.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
my helping hand is needed. I will do something today to encourage another person.
We
It's
all
better.
should be that
It's
way.
better. You know, I teach Sunday school, and I would rather people pat me on the back and give me a compliment instead of saying, "Boy, that was a lousy lesson you taught today."
I agree.
Yeah.
And people are way too quick to do the negative instead of giving you a compliment.
Well,
Do you agree with that?
well, not in my Sunday school class.
Well, I mean,
The Grumpy Old Man Club,
are
founding
you in
member.
that one? I couldn't pass it on.
The founding member is only happy when he complains.
That's right.
So that's me. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not. He married me.
Yeah.
So who's crazy? What
It's
a
crazy.
what a beautiful world it would be if people had hearts like dogs.
But ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yes. I like that.
I never use my turn signal. It's nobody's business where I'm going. Way to go, Lala.
Yeah.
The best things about the good old days was that I wasn't good and I wasn't old. I think I lived in the good old days.
I think you did too.
Of
I
course,
think you did.
of course, women don't work as hard as men. We get it right the first time. Boy, I bet you women will be mad at me over that one.
The women will like that. They get it right the first time. I think that's a dig at us, Papa.
No,
Yeah.
I had that wrong. Didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, women, why would you say that?
Why would they say such a thing? I tell you what.
You know that women say they never.
Allie's laughing.
Women say they never get lost. It's the men that get lost.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Okay. We offer 3 kinds of services. You must listen now. We offer good, we offer cheap, and we offer fast. But you can only pick 2. Good and cheap won't be fast.
Yeah.
Fast and good won't be cheap.
Right.
And cheap and fast won't be good.
That's a no-win situation there.
I'm a second-hand vegetarian. Cows eat grass and I eat cows.
And I'm one of them too.
Oh, mercy.
I'm a second-hand vegetarian then.
When I get a headache, I take 2 aspirin and keep away from children, just like it says on the bottle.
Just like it says on the bottle.
She's on a roll.
She's on a roll today.
Once in a while, someone amazing comes along, and here I am. That was Lala, not me.
Right.
I'm high maintenance, but worth every dollar. I've got something like that. Respect your elders. They graduated school without internet.
Yeah.
Those kids at school ask me questions
Good point.
about internet and all this crap. I said, well, I can't answer that.
They're asking the wrong person, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I would love to be a fly on the wall when they ask you those questions.
Listen, I helped a 5th grade class last week,
Did you?
this week. And they asked me questions and I could answer them. I could help them.
Well, that's good.
Tickled me to death.
I bet.
These high school seniors, woo! Okay. Let me see. Okay, one night, a man walks into a bar looking sad.
Okay.
The bartender asks the man what he wants, and the man says, "Oh, just a beer."
Yeah.
The bartender asks, "What's wrong? Why are you so sad today?" The man said, "My wife and I got into a fight,
Right.
and she said she wouldn't talk to me for a month." The bartender says, "Well, I'm sure it'll blow over."
Yeah.
The man says, "You don't understand, that month's up tonight."
That's a good one.
An American tourist is visiting a small village in Newfoundland.
Where?
Newfoundland. Newfoundland, if you want to pronounce it. Newfoundland.
Okay.
He approaches a local person and asks, "What's the quickest way to Marysville?"
Marysville.
Marystown.
Town.
The local scratched his head and said, "Are you walking or are you driving?" And the stranger said, "Well, I'm driving."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Well, that's the quickest way."
Shoot. That's just wrong.
The White House is undergoing a $3.4 million renovation.
Dang.
Trump said he's hoping to replace the kitchen, the carpeting, and the Attorney General. He's been losing some of his people on his staff.
True.
Some schools were giving kids an eclipse day off because they're worried the teachers might not be able to protect their eyes. These kids haven't looked up at their phones yet.
Yeah, exactly.
The average kid will keep their head in a phone, their eyes in a phone, or a game, 38 hours a week. This is true. But now, the trouble is, the people that have the technology to keep on developing and keep on selling, they're wanting more and more things to take up that kid's time.
I know. It's all about the almighty dollar. One more, Papa.
Okay. A couple was driving down a country road, and they drove for several miles, not saying a word. They've driven several miles. Because they'd had an argument earlier in the day, and the discussion that they were involved in led to this argument.
Right.
So neither of them wanted to break the silence and be the one to concede to the other, so they kept their mouth shut. So they're driving and keep on driving. But they passed a barnyard that had mules, goats, and pigs. And the husband says sarcastically to his wife,
"Yeah.
Relatives of yours?" She said, "Yes, they're my in-laws."
Dang, that's a good comeback if I ever did hear one. That is a good comeback. Well, that's a perfect way to end the show today, Papa.
I like that.
It's hard to top that one. Well, thanks to our guests today, Lindsey Keener and Carly Davis.
Two fine girls, by the way. First cousins. Had a great volleyball season, and they were telling us about the upcoming basketball season. So thanks for watching us on Channel 18 Valley TV, and thanks for listening on WUAT AM 1110. We'll be back next week on the Albert and Billy Show.
That's right.